Welcome to the Perfectly Sane Show, episode 708. I am Chris, as always, joined by Tony.
So earlier this week, the Supreme Court of Colorado declared that elephants are not people, which I find hilarious considering how we just swore one in as president.
I was going to okay. I thought that was gonna go. I didn't think we needed an equal precedent to
Was the
declare
first
that.
half of that true?
Yes. There's an environmental group that sued the zoo in Colorado because they said they were violating the elephants' rights because they weren't giving them enough grazing space. This lawsuit's been going on for 2 years, went all the way to the Colorado Supreme Court.
And they were like, there's no standing for elephants.
Elephants, no, they can't sue.
That's
Elephants,
funny.
as elephants, can't sue.
Earl knew him well.
Earl is here as well.
And I am also walking in very slow motion towards this podcast.
And Jeff is here.
And I am also, you can't see it, but I'm doing a salute. Very weird gesture over here.
No weird gestures, Jeff. Jeez. Keep your autism in check. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's been a wild ass week.
Just getting started.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like,
One day at a time.
I think that's the only way to do it. Because it is the only way to do it, but also, like, I mean,
we shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
Right. Not my fault.
It's none of our fault.
No.
Yeah. I think we all basically tried to stop it.
It's people who wanted apparently cheaper eggs and everything but this week. So
they're still up there.
They're still pretty expensive. In fact, the price
they
has been
are
going
more
up.
expensive. Yeah.
This Trump economy is really killing me, man.
I went to get eggs, and I think the cheapest ones I saw were like $5 for a dozen.
Yeah.
But I saw some for 14, and those passed out in this. Like those like the hot, but I'm still $14 for eggs is insane.
I'm really bad
at eggs.
I'm really bad at looking at prices at the grocery store sometimes, and like notice that like eggs were like expensive. Like my wife is like, "Do you know how much?" Like I think she bought like not a dozen, but like 18. Is that a size you can get?
Yeah, 18.
Yeah.
She's like, it was like $7 something. I was like, get the fuck out of here. Like it's weird though because I have noticed like for whatever reason I've noticed cereal just costs a ton now. Like it's just like, why is cereal $7 for a box of cereal? What the fuck? It's garbage. It's a box of sugar.
And it costs them like 75 cents to make that box of sugar. Yeah. I don't know which one of you said it. Jeff, I think it was you who said that, like, you know, the price has not gone down since he took office. And I saw people, like, you know, people making comments like that, like, why aren't my eggs cheaper, motherfuckers? Like, you know, just being snarky.
Day one.
And yeah, and like these people are like, well, you can't do it immediately. But, like he said it was, and you guys blamed Biden like as soon as he took office for gas prices. Like,
yeah,
there were stickers on like the week he took office on my gas station.
You know, this is kind of on Trump for like the way he oversells everything. He's like, I'm going to end the war with fucking Ukraine before I'm even elected or I'm even in office. Well, I'm just going to start holding him to the standards of what he fucking says. Like, what happened, bro?
Yeah, I love how they're also we need to follow the law with everything that's going on. You know, they love spouting that line, and then we just pardon.
Yeah,
all the fucking January 6th. Like,
dude,
you know,
him getting asked about it is just like, give me that for like a couple months at least, like, because he's just like, they've been in there a long time. It's like, no, they haven't. Like that's his like kind of way. Like when they asked him about like you committed people that, like, or you pardoned people who like attacked police officers and did this and this and that, and then he's just like, oh well, most of them did nothing. The ones that did, like, they've been in there like it's time for this to end. It's like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, at most, some of them have been there like a year. Like,
And
you
I
know,
mean, they committed literally a violent felony. Like it might not have been all of like, it's dumb. It's dumb.
Yep. There's a lot of stupidity. I feel a lot more to come, and it's like some of it is just like he just says dumb shit or does dumb shit to kind of distract from the actual bad shit he's doing.
yeah. But when nothing like gets like the prices are not going to come down.
No.
And when that doesn't happen, if we're not going to get the satisfaction of people being like, "Oh," it's going to be like his committed supporters, anyways, are going to be like, "It's Biden's fault somehow." It's like, you know what I mean? Like there'll be some excuse. There's always, yeah.
Anyway,
America was good. It was a good ride.
Everything's burning. Keep your mind busy while everything's on fire. And that was a bad analogy because California is literally on fire.
Literally on fire, yes.
So
it
yeah, well,
analogy then.
Fuck. That's just the thought of California, and then I thought of the fucking ambassadors to Hollywood. Jesus Christ.
I saw someone making fun of climate change or something today. I'm like, really? Right now is when you're gonna like?
Yeah. Oh my god. Xbox had a thing today.
Speaking of things that are on fire, but
I actually thought it was a really good show.
Yeah, and I came out of it super surprised because I thought, this is going to be the lineup for the year. Like this is it. Like, and they didn't have Avowed, but that's out in a month, so they have Avowed, these other 3 big games, and then the secret game that we didn't know about. That's going to be their lineup through the whole year. Like, and half of these games, like one of them, I think South of Midnight was already kind of late, like kind of speculated to be coming out in April-May period. But I thought Doom was going to be later, like way later, fall, winter.
It could have worked as a big holiday release.
Yeah. And I really didn't know. I didn't know Expedition 33 was that far along. So
right.
I was kind of surprised by that too. All of those games are out before the end of May.
Hell yeah!
Insane. And it was already a packed spring. Like, it's crazy how many games there are now.
Absolutely nuts. They kicked off showing Ninja Gaiden 4. That one is the only one that's fall 2025. It's also not an Xbox developed game. It's Team Ninja and Platinum working on it.
But they are publishing it apparently.
Xbox is publishing it. That's neat. I mean, I guess like since they're bringing everything everywhere anyway, it'll end up on PlayStation at some point. Maybe not right away, but
what team? Why can't I speak? Ninja Gaiden, right?
Yeah. Team Ninja is publishing it, right?
But
Or
Koei
Tecmo?
I think everything but not South of Midnight. Is it South of Midnight or X? All of them I think were announced to PC and PlayStation as well.
Okay.
And I think they were on the stream.
I wasn't. I just caught that they were Game Pass.
Yeah, South of Midnight is Xbox and PC only. I think everything else was announced as like Doom today. I think it's also out on PlayStation. Well, not Doom, Ninja Gaiden. Wow, my brain is fried this week. Yes, Ninja Gaiden is being published by Xbox and it's also coming out on PlayStation and PC the same time in the fall.
So yeah, Ninja Gaiden this fall, and then they shadow dropped Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, which is a remake of Ninja Gaiden 2, which was an Xbox 360 game. And Earl, yes, you said you needed a map of the Ninja Gaiden games. So.
And I think I figured it out. Is apparently this is a franchise that's very, very, very big into just releasing the same handful of games under different brandings.
Sure.
Because I was looking at it. And the original Ninja Gaidens, there's 1, 2, and 3, which is on NES.
Yep.
And then there's whatever of that. Then
there's like a remake on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, but then there's
Was
Ninja
there?
Gaiden, Ninja Gaiden X, and then Ninja Gaiden Black. Ninja Gaiden Black is just I guess what we would call just really like DLC. I get the time for Ninja Gaiden. Then there's Ninja
Yeah,
Gaiden
it's
Sigma.
like a game of the year because like
Yeah,
it came out on the Xbox, so it's like more like a game of the year edition with like a harder difficulty level.
yes, and then Ninja Gaiden Sigma is Ninja
Mhm.
Gaiden again, but I think this is when
Yes,
it ported to the PlayStation.
yes, and not just so PlayStation 3, so the next generation because
Oh, this was on the
no
original Xbox.
Ninja, so two generations because Ninja Gaiden was originally a Xbox game.
Yes, and then
Um,
Sigma is a PS3 game, so that'd be Xbox 360. That'd be one generation.
okay, one, yeah. Yeah, so Xbox and PS2, yes, they match up. So yes, one generation. Next generation, it transfers to PS3, which was Ninja Gaiden Sigma and Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2.
But because there's Ninja Gaiden 2, then there's Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, and I thought like because I was looking at this, I was just looking at Wikipedia. I thought Sigma was like a separate brand, but no, Sigma 2 is just like a Game of the Year edition of Ninja Gaiden 2,
Yes.
and then Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is like the definitive edition of Ninja Gaiden 2.
Yeah, it's also a full-on remake
Yes.
in Unreal. So, but yes, it is.
But yes, I was just looking at this. I'm like, I do not understand this. It's like, is it Ninja Gaiden, Black, and Sigma, three different things? And then it's like, no, they're all just kind of the same thing.
There was a Ninja Gaiden Black before, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was.
That was just Ninja Gaiden.
I need charts and graphs now too.
So Ninja Gaiden Black is just it's like a game of the year. It's like improvements, new
Yes.
I think.
Right, so there was a Black of the original, and now there's a Black of 2.
Yes.
So there's 3D Ninja Gaiden. Then there was Ninja Gaiden Black, which is just like it's
The Game of the
Year
Year
edition, like harder difficulty.
Yeah, that's what I needed.
New, I think you play as the lady character as well in that one. And then Ninja Gaiden 2, which was a 360 game. Then Sigma 2, which was Sigma and Sigma 2 on the PlayStation 3. Then Ninja Gaiden 3, I think just across the board was on both. And now Ninja Gaiden 4 and Ninja Gaiden Black, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black.
And just a minor addition in there too, just because the naming convention, because then like Ninja Gaiden 3, like you said, was on PlayStation, I think 3 and Xbox 360 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Then got ported to the Wii U a year later as Ninja Gaiden 3 Races Edge. So for some reason that ditched the Sigma.
That is the that's the game of the because that also got released, I believe, on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 as well.
Yes.
That version. And then just to make things even more complicated, there's another Ninja Gaiden game coming out sometime this year called Ragebound, which is a return to the side-scrolling style of that game,
which they also did on the PlayStation 4. I think Ninja Gaiden Z.
Yeah, there was a yes.
Yes, it was. I was just looking at this, and my brain was like, I need to understand this because I didn't think there was that many Ninja Gaiden games, and there isn't. There's just a lot of the same ones being repeated for different console generations. And I mean, credit to them, they stick to the name and they stuck to the name convention for the most part. It's just very confusing to see Ninja Gaiden, Ninja Gaiden Sigma, Ninja Gaiden Black, then see Ninja Gaiden 2, Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, and Ninja Gaiden Black 3 2. Sorry.
Yeah. But that one's out now, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black.
Okay, and my one complaint, because I was watching somebody stream it earlier today, I was like, oh, I want to download this. It's like a ton of fun. I don't think I've ever replayed any of the 3D ones. Is we need to do like this game is 90 gigs.
Oh, the new one is the Black 2 or 2 Black, whatever it is.
The reason I think it's 90 gigs because I didn't have enough space on my Xbox, and they tell you to remove X number of space, but some of that sometimes is just to make sure you have more than enough. But I'm like, I didn't have any room because I still need to play Indiana Jones. I only have like 8 games on my Xbox hard drive right now.
It's ridiculous, dude. These file sizes are out of control, man.
It's insane. I mean,
and you know what? Nintendo puts out great games that are like 4 gigs. Like, I don't understand. I think like I don't know if you guys explain it to me or whatever, but it's like a lot of it is dedicated to the sound, and I'm like, I don't know, Zach, compress it. I don't know, do something.
They don't. That is very specifically why Call of Duty is so big. Is they don't compress the sound.
Compress it. I won't notice. I promise you this.
Yeah, there's a lot of games that don't compress anything. They don't compress the assets, which part of it great, but other part of it is I was just thinking I think the Xbox Series X and I think the are both petabyte hard drives by default. By the time you do the OS and stuff, it gets down to like 700 or something like that. But it's insane that you can't have, and you can't. I don't know if the PlayStation, but you can't play Xbox Series X games off of an external. It all has to be on the actual console, right?
Or so you can if you have one of the expansion,
which are expensive.
Yeah, they're like $150 or something like that. There's it's like a memory card basically that plugs into a special port in the back of your Series X.
I'm gonna make do with like what they give you, but it's constantly annoying. Like I'm constantly juggling.
Yeah, I mean,
especially I paid for the expensive one that described. It's very nice.
Like some of my favorite games are so huge that like I don't want to delete Baldur's Gate 3. Well, that's a huge chunk of my dedicated space there. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, that's a huge file. Like just so I have a Series S upstairs, like that the kids use mostly for like watching TV and shit, and I have like Rock Band on it. But if I were to install Call of Duty and Indiana Jones, that would take up the entire hard drive space on that thing.
Yeah. Well, it's like another good example. It's like Call of Duty. It's like you don't want to delete it because you want to be able to play the multiplayer or whatever. It's like, man, this thing's just like holding up space. And I think, I might soon have to delete that one.
Yeah, and I think, we don't talk about it often, but, I follow Matt Pescatella, the NPD dude, and I think Chris Sterling, who does. And you see that a lot of the games that year over year are like Fortnite, Roblox, Call of Duty, GTA, are kind of not just the best sellers, but they're the games that continue to get the most engagement hours. And I think part of that is, to Jeff's point, there are games you just keep on, and it's like I have like maybe 100, 150 gigs to play around with every so often.
Yeah.
Where I can move some games around. So you are like, do I want to get rid of something right now, or am I just gonna forego this game for the time being because I don't have I don't know. I mean, I guess I think I got rid of Overwatch. I don't play that often. But, like Hello Master Chief Collection is also a very big guilty one.
Oh, yeah.
And that one it's hard because I do, I don't play it all the time. But it is fun to go back every so often and play like the campaign or the multiplayer. And you don't want to have to download it constantly, but it just sucks up so much space. So much space.
Yeah. So yeah, and I checked the file size on Black 2 early. It's 82 gigs on PC, so it's a huge game. So those two were announced first. Then they went into some games that we already knew about. South of Midnight is coming April 8th. It's like kind of an action platformer set in like the Bayou. Looks really cool. I don't think it's going to do very well, but I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it was one of those. I mean, I'm happy it's on Game Pass. It's one of those things I'm like, oh, I'd check this out, but I don't think I would buy it. I mean, I'm really happy for that part of the region to be explored. I don't think we often see it in games.
Right.
And I mean, honestly, just, support Black women. So I'm sure there's going to be people who are, but whatever.
Yeah.
Just against it because
of that. But like, I think the game looks really cool. Has a really cool style to it. She kind of has this kind of Green Lantern ability to like conjure shit. So at one point she like conjures like a stagecoach and pushes it through like a gate. Like it's pretty cool. We'll see how the combat works out, but I think it looks really neat.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Then I think next was Expedition 33. I guess Claire Obscure Expedition 33. I think we heard about this game previously. It looks cool. Like,
yeah, I thought for some reason it was a Sony exclusive. It is not.
yeah, no.
And it's on Game Pass, so it's even better.
Yep.
Oh, so it's not them?
Let's see who makes this game. Firewalk. I'll just look up the game. Claire Obscure.
Then Paul Interactive, published by Kefir Interactive. I don't know either of these companies.
I think it's all brand new.
Yeah, I don't have any information on them really.
Okay, so that takes away that was done take away my one complaint. It's weird to have like you mentioned like all of these games out by the end of May. These two are a week apart. I think it's April 8th and April 15th.
The April 24th, so
okay.
2 weeks, but
2 weeks.
Still, point stands, like they're very close together. Very different games, but also still very close together. And it's a turn-based RPG. Looks really neat. Kind of like oh, it's hard to describe the combat system because like it's turn-based, but you can also there's some like real-time stuff going on in it. And you can like dodge and parry attacks as well. But it is like JRPG turn-based.
It looks so good. I did not watch this event at all today.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are, what looks good or whatever. But like, I remember seeing this when they first showed it, and I like that was on my radar. I was like, that is something for next year. I'm really excited about it. It looks awesome.
Yep, and it is. It's coming very soon. So
yeah,
April 24th for that one, and then they closed out with Doom: The Dark Ages, which that's a Doom game.
It's not just a Doom. This one is all about standing and fighting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they got rid of all the kind of like the platforming stuff from Doom Eternal, which is fine. I thought they went a little overkill with it in Eternal, but I liked it. Some of the stuff got a little bit out there at the end of that game, but this is
they we're getting rid of the.
They kind of replaced it with more giant battlefields.
Yeah, how they marketed it, which I thought was funny, is like in 2016, Doom was all about running gun. In Doom Eternal, we decided to change it up to, I think, what was it? I forget what they said, but basically jump. And then, so what we wanted to try something different this time. So instead of running gun and whatever, it's stand and fight. And then, so the big new addition is you kind of get a shield.
Okay.
A chainsaw shield.
There's some other cool stuff in there.
Yes.
Like I think at some point you're going to get like a mech.
Yes,
and a dragon.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna be able to like fly and control a dragon at some point, which looked really cool. But I don't know. I thought the bigger environments were, for me, Doom it's a corridor shooter. Like sometimes there's big environments, but normally those are like the boss levels. This is just like here's this huge battlefield, and you're gonna move around it, and it's like okay.
What's Halo now?
Yeah. But with way more enemies than you've ever seen in a Halo game. That was actually really impressive when they were showing that.
It was also very funny because sometimes the enemies like there's that one gun that has the spreader and like literally all of the enemies like we're just gonna line up 5 across so that there's a perfect amount of us for your gun to shoot.
Yeah, I'm sure that was set up for
The demo, but it's just really
it's
funny.
like to make it look as cool as possible. But yeah, and that is May 15th. And it's launching on PlayStation 5 as well, so neat. It's a good show.
Yeah,
Short, but a good show.
I mean, I think it's what it needed to be. I think they had, like 5 games. One stealth dropped today. I think they did a good job of managing expectations because we knew about 3 to 5 games, I should say, coming into this. They gave the developers a lot of time to actually talk you through their games and show gameplay footage.
Yeah.
I think that's the benefit of having games that are so near release is you can actually show people what they're actually going to play. Like I said at the start of the intro, it is very funny. They had a lot of people walking in slow mo for these walk and talks. Um, but I think they did a really good job. It did not overstay its welcome. It was, I think, I mean, easily the best developer direct I remember seeing from them.
Yeah.
And if this is the first half, I'm really curious to see what's in the back half of the year because this does go until May, which means they have all of the summer, fall, winter to come.
Yeah. It's like so this releases May 15th, which, depending upon how they do not E3 this year, about a month or so after that is when we normally get the summer kind of here's what's coming, folks, for the rest of the year, and then speculation on what's coming past that as well. But yeah, this packs up the year pretty tight in the first 5 months because I think Tony, you said what? So Monster Hunter, Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
There's that Yakuza game.
Civilization. There's Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. There's such like so much stuff.
Yeah,
Av-
Avowed, which
Avowed.
is another Xbox
Avowed.
game. Yeah, tons of stuff to play. It's gonna be a busy year for games at least.
Feels like a fall
Yeah, already.
schedule.
That's what I was gonna say. Is I'm kind of curious because this is one of those years, which is great at the start because a lot of it is games that were supposed to be last year. So I'm hoping that the back half has stuff.
I mean, we're gonna have Switch 2, so yes, there will be.
Will
Well,
we?
you can hope.
Yes, it's happening. It's happening. They said it.
It could happen. It could happen.
Like we have literally. I mean, I guess we know that there's Mario Kart 9.
Yep. New Mario Kart coming.
Yeah,
But,
I saw people.
I think it's gonna
saying
be
that
stacked.
Is it 9 or 10?
It'll be 9.
I don't know if they count tours like a main 9 in Mario Kart.
No,
Okay.
No, the tours are different because there's tour and then there's the arcade GP.
Yeah, the arcade
well.
one
They
I
don't
understand.
count them.
The arcade ones I understood because those weren't Nintendo. They were, I think, Namco.
Yeah.
But I think they do make tours. So again, it's just something I saw pop up. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I never thought about that. I just assumed, the next one would be 9, or if they did two
because
numbers.
it's gonna be that.
It'll be really
I can be
weird
like,
if they were
remember
like,
that was number 9 was tour.
that would be wild.
And again, I mean, to be fair, they didn't number them until 7, so they can ditch it.
Yeah, I mean, and who knows? Maybe we don't get. Maybe it's not Mario Kart 9 or 10. Maybe it's just like, Mario Kart World. Like people are speculating that it's
Mario Kart Wonder.
kind of like sure. Maybe they go back to naming them again. So we'll see. That's coming. Was there any other news before we jump into the stuff we've been playing?
There was the PlayStation news I don't think we touched on last week with what was it? They canceled a bunch of their games as services stuff.
Yes.
And then there was also the dude, not Jim Ryan, the guy who retired, Ted something that retired from Insomniac Games.
Ted Price.
Yes, that sounds about right. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, he was like one of the founders of
Yeah,
Insomniac.
he's retiring. And then the guy from Warner Bros. Interactive is leaving after putting in such a great position according to him, and not because like the last few games he's really bombed big time. So yeah,
Yeah. I mean, Gotham Knights, Suicide Squad.
I mean
Is
to
there
be fair,
something else in there?
they did have the what's it called, which was successful, the Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy
Yeah, that
game.
and Mortal Kombat 1
Yeah,
was successful too, I believe. At least critically. I don't know if it sold well, but yeah. So yeah, that PlayStation did in fact they canceled a bunch of their six live service games, I believe, is what they closed off, including a Horizon MMO,
uh,
a God of War game.
yeah. God of I think most of these were games of services. I think God of War. Then there's a Twisted Metal one in there as well.
Mm,
Uh, and then I think Viewpoint might have been. It was a lot of different. I think a lot of different studios. Somebody did a list of it, and I'm not gonna bother to find it. Because I completely forgot about this that they had announced like a games and services initiative. I think 2 or 3 years ago, and somebody was going through and of the 12 games. Like they announced 12 games, and not like, by name. Like the studios were. I think something like 7 of them are now dead. One of them, of course, was Concord, which is one of those. It came out, but
yeah.
so. Speaking of dead, I forget if the rest. I think Jeff was a fan. I Celeste.
Chris.
I
Oh
like
yeah.
Celeste, yeah.
Oh, okay. So the
I mean,
developers
I
were
don't
doing.
not like it. I didn't get very far.
But they were doing a spiritual successor called Earthblade, and that was canceled this week in a very fascinating letter. Essentially, they've been
We
working.
all hate one another now and can't work together.
Well, yeah, kind of.
Kind
No,
of.
they
I
were doing their
mean,
best.
no. Yes, but no.
They were doing their best. Like it's not that reason,
Sure, it's
but
not
that
you,
did
it's
not
me.
help. Yes,
It's not you, it's me.
that
They
is.
came. I guess there was dispute over who actually owned the Celeste IP, um, or how payments would get doled out. So the artist was like, fuck off, and he left, went and created his own studio and is doing his own thing, which they built up. They were like, hey, go play that. Like we still love him. We love his team. We don't think we can work together. Um, and yeah, 5 years they've been working on that since 2019. I hadn't realized that, but
Yeah. Again, it was very, very fascinating to read um, that letter. And again, kudos to them for saying it's not the other guy's fault. But if you keep on saying it, people are gonna
It's
like,
everybody's fault.
is it
it
the other guy's fault though?
well, it also sounds like
They consciously uncoupled. That's what happened. They did that.
yeah, it also sounds like they didn't know how to run at a bigger scale because like they had hired people, which it seems like that they're no longer going to be staffing them. It's just that the original two guys are just going to go back to making small games again. And it sounded like they were kind of like conceptualizing in their head. They had to do something way bigger than
Yes,
Celeste.
and I think
Um,
that
yeah, that hurt them.
hey, people enjoy it. Just more don't have to go and we have to go bigger and grand. You don't have the money for it, and everything has to be 10 times as large or whatever. Speaking of expectations, Dragon Age: The Veilguard. I think it wasn't just Dragon Age. What is it? EA FC 25. EA came out this week and said that they will miss expectations because of softer than expected results from Dragon Age and EAFC 25. They said Dragon Age, I think, has something like 1.5 million users in the first, I guess, 2.5 months. but that's about
It's
half
just
of what
not
they were.
Not
great.
great.
That's not great.
But it's
No.
also not
For
bad.
it's
But
not
for
bad, but for a
what they,
series that's that
yeah,
big, like
Is it that big still though?
I guess not. Like that's kind of the
Apparently not
problem, right?
anymore. Yeah. I mean, it has been a long time since the last one. Maybe they lost some fans.
and I think again it was one of those things where they coming in the shadow of not Elders, Baldur's Gate, where
Mhm.
one, a lot of people got their fill of that actually with this big massive game you can keep on replaying, but it also changed how people thought of these games.
Right. And they kind of went away with the things that made it similar to Baldur's Gate 3. Like they didn't emphasize those. It's like we're making a more actiony game, and they keep getting more actiony and actiony, and it kind of just thins out the game and makes it less interesting.
But yeah, Jeff, you might be right. Maybe it's not that big anymore. Like
I mean, I think kind of what Tony's saying too as part of it. It's just like I don't know. Like there's been other things have moved into the genre that have like really stepped up, and so it's just like you can't just put out this. Like, I have not played Valgar, so I don't know. But like I just know from what I've heard. It's like, well, who is this satisfying? Like,
Well, again, I think the problem is video games can't take 6 years to make anymore, because what is hot 6 years ago is not the same, and you can't see Baldur's Gate like we're gonna pivot. You can't go back to the board in a year. So I'm sure it's. I mean, it's like Tony says, it might get more actiony, but it is also the fact that there's a lot of stuff that came. I forgot when Inquisition came out, but that was on the last
10 years ago.
So yeah, like a lot of stuff has changed in that 10 years, and you're still. I mean, and it's kind of the same thing that happened with Mass Effect Andromeda. Is I don't think they know how to evolve it in a way that meets the demands of the current marketplace while
it's
still.
like they're still trying to chase the ideal of what they thought was good in like 2008.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, games have evolved beyond like you were groundbreaking at the time, but now it's like it feels a
Now
little dated.
all those ideas that you came up with, they're in every game now if they were that good.
Yeah.
So like,
and by the way, I hope a billion games rip off Baldur's Gate. Like, bring me more of this shit.
The problem
right?
is going to be, of course, like if you're making a Baldur's Gate S game now that comes out in 2030, which would be what, 6
I'm
years?
in.
I think some of it also, Earl, and I'll let you finish in a second, is that Baldur's Gate, like Jeff is like, give me more of that, and the answer to give me more of that is that
It's both
they make them on PC.
Yeah.
That's where those games generally are.
So I think you'll see people try to start porting them over, to see if they can get that market.
Sure.
But yeah, and it's not. But again, it's also. I think you also just need to like have expectations. Again, I think 1.5. Granted, it's the holiday season. That is the bulk of your sales. Um, it's not a. It's not a bad start, but it's not what they expected, and there's nothing to go around with that. I don't know EAFC enough to be like. Apparently, it was growing the previous 2 years, but I don't know if it was growing on the back of it was growing from FIFA, or if it was like people who didn't know it was the FIFA replacement were like, "Oh, I'll check it out and I'll buy into it." And it's just like, okay, we paid it. We don't need. I didn't even know it came out. I assume it's annual, but I didn't. I don't
It
hear anybody
is.
talk
Yeah.
about it. But we're also. I mean, we're also America's like the least football, soccer heavy country of the big major. I guess Japan's up there too. Video game markets.
FIFA 23 was the last FIFA game. That was 2022.
Yeah, so then
And
we
then
would have had FC 23 and FC 24. So I guess
FC 24 was in 23, and FC 25 was the last fall.
then there's only 1 year of growth, so they were just sniffing their own paint.
I mean, I'm sure they're viewing it off of FIFA. So
Yeah. But again, you're also using a brand, and
yeah,
I mean, the brand does a lot of work.
Did they release numbers for
I don't think
FC25?
so.
It did win best sports game at the Game Awards, I guess. Anyway, yeah, disappointing, I guess.
Wah. I mean, EA makes bad sports games now. Blame it on that.
I agree.
I hear the college football game is fun. I'm just kind of surprised it's not on Game Pass yet, though, because
I
the
know,
national
right?
championship has happened. Like, I'm anticipating Madden, which I don't think I'll play, but I anticipate that like Super Bowl weekend, because that seems to be when they've released it
Yeah,
the
usually.
last few
Yeah.
years. So I was kind of expecting college football 25 to
Be before then.
hit
Yeah.
Game Pass before the national championship, but maybe they have a deal that they can't put it on. Who knows? But yeah. So that's news. We're gonna talk live action Mario in a minute, but before we get to that, what have you guys been playing? Actually, Jeff, I want to start with you.
Okay.
I know what you've been playing.
Okay.
And I want to hear about your change of heart with Indiana Jones and the Great
Really?
Circle.
Oh, change of heart. I thought you wanted to hear about Path of Exile.
I'm good on that one.
That's mostly what I've been playing is that still. But it was earlier this week. I was like, going back to our drive discussion. I was like, I need to play this game. So I don't want to delete it without playing it. Like I wanted to play it. It's my hard drive. I got Avowed coming out soon. Like let's try to give this another chance. And as soon as I did, I was having fun in what I think is like my favorite level in the game, which is Giza, like the Egypt.
Yeah.
Yep. My favorite level of the game. It just the theming feels right to it, and it's just like you're just exploring all these tombs. You're like going into pyramids. The fucking graphics are amazing in the like the whole level. Like, but like you like want to hear my change of heart? Like, everything I've said about this game, I stand by. Like, and part of what I said is like I give it a lot of credit for not doing what you would expect from a big budget game like this. Like you would expect it to be like this action packed, kind of thrill ride. And like I really appreciate the fact that they like allow it to be just like this kind of goofy adventure and really like lean into to the point where like the combat is just like barely there at all. That said, like everything else I said about the game, like I still feel all that, and you know what? I guess something new I could add is like once Egypt, it becomes kind of like for a little bit, it becomes kind of the game that you expected, like a little bit, where it's just
two roller coaster levels.
Yeah,
very very linear.
Yeah, like kind of action packed. Although I really loved. I think when you're escaping from Shanghai,
yep,
you get in this plane and you're in the back of the plane and you're like facing out the back of the plane with a fucking gun, like a turret gun.
You shoot
that shit
tail.
was. I mean, it was like again, like interactive movie almost to a point. Like it was just so easy and there was just nothing going on to it, but it was just cool as fuck. Like when you like are hanging by the whip and get into it. I guess the plane is like so damaged that you decide to like jump to another plane. That is really neat and cool. Like it was fun. Just like, oh yeah, this is like kind of more like that's what I thought at least when I was playing those levels. Like I think before that is Himalayas. I think the name, like what they call the mission, is like a rough climb or something. This is like that's kind of all it is. Like you just kind of climb up this mountain. Like it's also pretty short, and also like very scripted and stuff. But like, yeah, I don't see like what I am saying about the game when it does allow you to kind of dick around in these like larger levels, I got into the rhythm of to accept that the combat is just it is. I was kind of playing it like Donkey, where I would just be like, whatever, dude. I like would just throw something at someone's head and walk right by them, like fuck you, or just punch them a bunch of times and walk by. Like I never really had to. There's maybe one part where I had to treat the stealth a little serious. I want to say it was near the end of Himalayas. It was kind of tough. Like if you alerted the guys, it was kind of tough. It was like when you're on the top of the Himalayas.
Oh, when you get to the top of the ship.
It was like the part that they showed off of the game very early on.
Yeah, that because they all have weapons and like you, not really.
So like if you fuck around in that part, like I had to get it down to like I'm gonna push this guy off the edge. I'm gonna go around the backside, follow this guy, get him. I'm gonna go. Like, I had to actually like learn it. I was like, this is very weird because the whole rest of the game, all of this is like, I guess you could try to play that way if you want, but it doesn't matter. Like, you know what I mean? Like here, it actually like you kind of had to like plot it out and take it seriously because they would all just like swarm you.
It's also the one spot where, and I mean, a couple other times enemies will do it, but most of the time, if you are just punching people, that's how they'll interact with you as well.
Yeah.
It's not until you pick up a gun that they start to shoot you. So, like in that particular level, though, like doesn't matter if you're punching them or not. Like they're gonna shoot you. So
yeah, there was like one guy at the top of the stairs. Like, you go up some stairs, just like if he is, but he's fucking hitting you with a shotgun, and it's kind of like one shot and you're dead. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm playing through it. There's things I appreciate about it, but like, there's so many things where I'm like, why would you do this way? Like, even still, like, even down to like very basics, like the first person perspective. I'm just like, why? Because like anytime you want to like see something cool, they have to shift it to third person. It's just like, why did you just do the game in third person, man? Like, what the fuck?
You want to see indie swing? We're gonna zoom it back because you want to see indie swing because of course you do.
So there's like a million things like that, and like I just disagree.
On the other hand, they do handle those transitions super well.
Yeah, they're great.
The game doesn't break, the camera doesn't break, so you can't see, which is what you see in a lot of those games.
They're fine, but it's just like one of those things where like, what do you think that this added? I guess maybe they're more comfortable with first person. I don't know, but like, and again, it is like that big budget. Like we're trying to do a movie game, so like, I just got to the final level tonight, and like literally watched a cutscene that felt like it was like 20 minutes long, and I was just like, well, I guess I'm done now. I'm gonna go fucking do something else because that was forever. I don't care, and like I guess for people who do story and game, love Indiana Jones, maybe this is like a good. Like I think you guys said that actually, it's a good Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I really like it as an Indiana Jones story.
But it's just like I just fundamentally disagree with that type of design anymore, and I'm just like, again, it's not a thing I love about it, but I'm like, when you actually let me get down to business in this, it's kind of neat just goofing around as indie. And it's, despite the fact that the levels seem to go on for fucking ever, at least, Vatican and Giza, game seems very short. Like I'm already, I think, near the end. Like I maybe have a couple hours left, Chris.
Where are you right now?
You're in the jungle area?
Yeah, I guess I got past Shanghai. And
the jungle area is very large, and there's another area after that.
Yeah, it's a short. The area after that is shorter, but
very short. Yeah.
So what? A couple hours, like
few. Yeah, like that. That if you want to go do like, I think some of the side missions there are fun. Like I think the temples in the jungle area are maybe the best.
Okay, cool. 'Cause I really did like the ones in Giza. I thought that shit was very like go ahead.
There's a lot of like mechanisms that are moving and stuff, and like so like there's like a lot of that stuff in the jungle area that are really neat, especially if you go do like the they're not. I don't know what do they call them, Tony? They weren't like missions. They weren't called side quests, but they had like a different name. Investigations, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
There's like some cool ones, like neat stories in them too, like where the guy in the village is like, hey, I need you to go find my nephew or something, and if you go find him, like he's into archaeology and he somehow got stuck in one of the temples and like you have to help him get out, but in doing so, like you have to solve the puzzle. There's another one where you run into one of your old students that she's now working with the Nazis, and
I found her very attractive, almost disarming.
That's a funny joke, Tony. Yeah, I think there's like some really neat stuff in there, and those missions, those levels are pretty cool. There's a whole main story mission it's like lots of platforming. You're gonna have to like learn to throw spears at mushrooms and shit, so you can use your whip to swing across stuff. But and there's a really cool giant fight with a snake. So
okay.
there's some cool stuff in that final area. Well, the final pub area.
One thing I loved, again, like I think my favorite level so far is the Giza one, and when you get into that level, like a lot of it just feels like very Zelda-ish, which I guess like Tomb Raider and stuff like that feels kind of like Zelda too, but doing the mirror puzzles from Zelda, and I found those all to be I found those all to be like very fun to figure out, and also like intuitive. Like I very rarely had to like look up what to do. I'd be like, oh yeah, I know, I have to somehow get into this other room where I could see that there's like a mirror panel. I have to like go around and you know what I mean, like
find the thing and crawl under.
Like you kind of lose yourself in the adventuring at that point. So like that was very good. All in all, like again, I don't hate it. There's just a lot of things about it that are like just not what I'm into anymore. But it's decent. It's decent. I will see it to the end. I'm determined. I have so I'm determined to get this thing off my hard drive by the end of next week. Free up like 150 fucking gigs.
Yeah, I think you will definitely if you're off next week. No, it's like you're like I didn't really change my mind on it, but the way you were violently opposed to this game.
Well, it's very like I bet you I'd feel the same way about Spider-Man if I played it, but like. The way these types of games start off are showing to me now, where it's just like, dude,
you just want to get
trying to do a movie, like put me into a level, and then build your story. It's just so fucking boring to start off. It's terrible at that. Like the new one where it's like you're going to play basketball, you're riding your bikes, and you're just like, dude, I don't like. Maybe like again, in my opinion. This is like a type of way that games were like over 10 years ago, and they should not be like this anymore. But apparently, like they're just never going to stop. Like this is a type of game that's apparently popular.
It's insanely popular. Like these are the games that sell the most every year. Like I mean, just look at how like Sony has built their entire kind of library on these types of games.
I think it's very stale and very like outdated. Like. Don't do that. Like I don't know. Like there's ways to like inject story in the games that like.
I'm interested just because you liked Red Dead 2, right?
No.
Okay.
I was like maybe the beginning of me realizing that like I don't like this type of game.
Like I felt like I did not get past. I think I was still like in the tutorial's like 40 hours long in that game.
Yeah, it's like it's
like I think I was still in the tutorial section like when I quit on it. I'm wondering how you're going to take GTA 6.
It's part of why I'm like not super just like I look at like Rockstar games like I don't again I think like that type of game is like outdated at this point. Like I hate to say it, like you can push the tech all you want, but I feel like that's just an outdated idea of like how a game should be. And I feel like, I hate to like keep harping on this like same things, but like games like Dark Breath of the Wild kind of reset. You can still have like an interesting story, but like, dude, get me into the like, let's go, dude. I bought like, if I like wait up till midnight to play your game, I don't want to be bored for fucking 45 minutes before I get to actually like walk through a level, and then you're telling me, press the right stick to look around, and then you're like walking around and someone's talking to you, and you're like, dude, this sucks. I guess I'm going to bed. Like, fuck that shit, dude. Throw me throw me on a map. Let me figure it out. And then like you could prompts, and then like you could pepper in the story a little bit. Like it's just, I don't know. I hate how boring like the big AAA games are at the beginning. A lot of them are like this, but Call of Duty fucking knows to give you some fucking explosions. God damn it.
To be fair to Call of Duty, it's only a 6-hour game. Like,
yeah.
They spent 45 minutes with a movie at the beginning, like the game would be almost over.
Yeah.
You play anything else besides indie? I mean, we know you played Path of Exile.
Yeah, I played a lot of Path of Exile too. Did I play anything? Oh, you want to hear something interesting? I didn't play this, but I downloaded Marvel Midnight Suns because it was like $10.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
Is that good? Is it a good game?
I love it. I think it's great. I don't know that you will love it, but
I'm interested to hear what Jeff's opinion of it.
I have a feeling I really enjoy it. It's like card-based strategy RPG, right?
Strategy, tactical, yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling I very much enjoy it. That's why I was like,
I do wonder though, like, is it really? Is there a lot of story, Tony?
It's very talky. It's incredibly talky.
Is there a skip button?
I don't know because I enjoyed the story, so I didn't really try.
Probably hitting skip.
It depends on like how the story's told, because I'm not.
It's true.
I'm not huge into stories, but like if it's something where it's like, oh, it's a sense of humor and it's not that often.
I doubt a Marvel game is going to be the one where I'm like, oh yeah, but yeah, I just, based on like what the type of game it is, pretty safe gamble at, especially at $10. Like, it's like they're like normally priced $70. Like, all right, $10, sure.
Where is it $10?
So I will,
Where is it $10?
It was on Xbox, and I think it's over now. It was like the only interesting thing that was on sale last week.
A holiday sale.
It was just the sale of the week, deal of the week, whatever.
Oh, okay. It'll probably drop to that price again, Earl.
Yeah, and I'll probably, I don't know, if I beat Indiana Jones, maybe I'll get to it. I'm still pretty heavily playing Path of Exile and Balatro. I'm trying to like dig deeper into Balatro. But that's the next one.
Before
Avowed, yeah, exactly. We'll see. I mean, maybe it'll suck me in and I'll be like, fuck Avowed. Avowed could wait. I gotta play this Marvel card game.
Earl, did you play anything this week?
Not anything new, but something old I went back to. I think we had talked about last week during, Game of the Year, but also during the Switch 2 reveal. I said how I think, like if there's a 3D Mario game, I could see it being like Bowser's Fury. And it got me thinking about, I actually just wanted to check out Bowser's Fury again. I hadn't played it since it came out. I don't think I actually beat it at the time. So I went back to that, and it's a fantastic little experiment. I will say upfront, my two chief concerns are Bowser is not a very interesting boss constantly, and they need a way for you to control that. Even at like he shows up, I think he's on a timer of sorts.
Yeah,
like every 3 to 4 minutes or something like that. So now I'm in the post game, so I've beaten him already. So I just need him to show up every so often so that I could do certain stuff that I need the Bowser state to be in. And I'm just like, okay, I guess I'm gonna sit around here until he shows up again. Like there's the Lucky Island, I think is what they call it. Where like, it's the golden island that pops up only during his Fury phase. but you get one cat shine and it disappears, and there's like 6 of them on there. So then you have to go chase it down again. And if you find it during something else, like it's pretty much I got to give up or whatever I'm doing here to go do this thing because I need him to break it. And then I was like, oh, let me just fight him to get rid of it. I didn't realize in the post game if you fight him again, you have to do the entire final boss battle, which means that you have to fight him and then you have to do the chase on Jesse, which isn't bad. I mean, it's like I can do it, but I'm like I don't want to go through this whole 10-minute thing. I want to get rid of him quicker. Um, but outside of that, I think it's a great format for a Mario game. I would really like to see them expand out on it, have a bit more diverse bosses, a way to control Fury Bowser, or maybe have other like different islands and different areas have something else that gets triggered on that time frame that can help you. Um, on that same note, because I was just in a mood for it, I was in, like I'm in platformer mood. So I went back and I'm playing through or trying to play through Sonic Mania, which I still think is probably the best Sonic game in recent memory. I know Jeff is a huge fan of Frontiers. I still need to put more time into that. And I again I've not played a ton of Sonic Superstars. It's nice. I really don't know why they ditched the style though. It's like I love the hand drawn look of it. I love the animation of it better than like Sonic in 3D. But yeah, Sonic Mania Mario, and I've just gotten the itch. Like I might download Tropical Freeze next. Who knows?
Not a Donkey Kong Country
Return.
remake returns came out again. This past week, I think.
Yeah,
Or it's coming out this week.
it came out I think last week.
Yeah. So, all right, Tony, do you play anything this past week?
A lot of NBA 2K25. I'm kind of addicted now. The
Okay.
game now has a season pass. There's
What
like
is-
different
what does
levels.
that get you?
So it's very similar. It reminds me a lot of the season pass in like Monster Hunter now. There's like 2 different levels where like as you play through games, you get like some of the stuff you unlock is just like upgrades to like you get more experience or whatever. Some of it is stuff you can wear, like clothes and that kind of thing.
Okay, so it's like a kind of like a Fortnite battle pass or something like
Yeah,
that.
but if you pay for the premium edition, which is like $10,
Yep.
then leveling up in VC gets you actual VC, the currency that lets you upgrade your player.
Oh.
Which it is much cheaper to get that VC via the battle pass than it is to actually buy it. So it's a little tempting because it's only like I'm already playing through the battle pass. I'm getting excited about it, and then if I pay like $10, I get enough to like upgrade my player like a lot. Because like if you complete the battle pass, it's like 40,000 VC,
Yeah.
which is like
That's
I
a
don't
lot.
know, $35 worth. It gets a lot.
For like $10. It's just, and really the only commitment is you're playing the game, which you're
You're
already
playing it a lot.
doing.
Yeah.
So
Um,
yeah, cool.
So I'm gonna see how far I can get through like the current season, and then I'll consider buying the actual season
Yeah.
pass. It has like there are challenges that it adds to it every day. It's just kind of cool like quests that it's constantly throwing at you. I don't know. I didn't realize this would improve my basketball experience, but it has.
All right. Well, yeah, maybe level up your season pass, and then like when it gets, you're like, I'm almost at the end. You can then just pay the $10 and get
I
your
get all the VC at
35,
once.
40. Yeah, just I got it all now. And then your player becomes really good. You play anything else?
No, that's pretty much it.
All right. I'll touch on 3 things real brief. Playing Starfield again, trying to actually finally finish it now. People are like harsh on that. It's a really good one of those types of games.
Yeah, I thought so too. Like, I guess we'll see what you think at the end. I thought the story was cool.
It's a cool idea. Like right now, I'm doing the faction stuff. And I think like those go on some pretty cool. Like I did the can't remember what, but you basically embed with the pirates, but you're working as a double agent for the Navy, who are hunting them down. So like that's a pretty cool one. So like you're maintaining friendships with the pirate people, and then you're going back and reporting on them to the Navy. Or you don't have to, like, you could also double cross the Navy people. I just finished the Freestar Rangers one, which is like a pretty cool like investigation type thing. That one ends pretty neat with like this billionaire dude. It turns out to be an asshole. He's like kind of like, oh, I take care of all these people, and like really he was just fucking everybody over.
That doesn't sound the
That
norm.
right. It's completely
That's so
outlandish. Like,
It would never happen in real life. Billionaires are nice people.
Absolutely not. So like it's this wonderful fantasy story.
Salute.
I do think I need to upgrade my ship. Did you guys like upgrade? Did you buy new ships at some point?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you need the new ones.
Yeah, it's like I'm still like rolling around in the frontier. I have a couple other ships, but they don't seem better. But like evidently the frontier and the other ships I have are like the lowest class of ship. There's like, I guess, like actual freighters that have shields and full on cannons. If you
completed the Rangers one though, you get a ship, don't you? That's really good.
I did, but it's like a fighter.
Yeah. You want more cargo space?
Yeah, it's like there's no cargo space in the frontier, and you can't carry anything. Anyway, I like it. It's like I liked it when I was playing it when it came out, and then I fell off of it for other games, and now I'm back into it. Like this is fun. Like it's a good one of those. But I'll check in when I finish it, Jeff. Let you know how it turns out. On Game Pass, Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 is out there. I had actually bought this was on sale, I think before the holidays, maybe during the Black Friday sale. You get the super duper deluxe edition for like $17, which came with all 3 of the DLCs. I finished everything in that game. It's a really good arcade racer, much like the first one. And that's maybe the big problem with it, is it's very much like the first game. And I would say if you have Horizon 5, maybe that Hot Wheels stuff is actually more crazy than what's in Hot Wheels Unleashed. But Unleashed 2 is a good game, and it's on Game Pass, so worth a go if you enjoy arcade racers. And then finally,
I can't remember if I played that. I know I played one of them.
You played the first one.
Okay.
And we both played that one. Unleashed 2 came out in 2023. I think we all skipped it.
Okay, well I can play it free.
Yeah. Now it's not a back to file size. It's not massive. Like it's maybe like 15 gigs, which is
cool.
big, but also not like
no, it's
not 80.
Totally fine.
Right. Like that's a reasonable size. Tons of different cars, like even the ones that aren't DLC. Like there's a lot of cool cars. And then there's like a lot that are also from the first game. So I think that's why I like rate it a little bit lower than the first one, even though it plays a little bit better. The courses are pretty cool. It's just not as, you play that first one, you're like, this is really awesome. Like, and then it's like, oh, there's more of that with 2. And finally, Lonely Mountain Snow Riders came out. You guys are like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Was that today?
Now?
Wasn't that like
came out Tuesday?
Yes, I had a friend who played it. I am curious about it. So I do know what it is. Not
so it's a sequel to the Lonely Mountains is the franchise. The original game was Lonely Mountains Downhill, and that was a mountain bike game. Snow Riders is a skiing game. Same concept. They put you at the top of a mountain and you go down it. And like it's, the single player is like you're trying to get down the mountain without crashing, or getting down the mountain with a limited amount of crashes or in a certain amount of time, and that'll give you unlocks to unlock other trails and then harder modes. But what they've done with this one that's not in downhill is they've added a multiplayer mode, which is really neat. Like it's 8 players. You're all just going down the mountain at the same time. There's collision, so like you could totally just like get in front of somebody and then kind of ski stop, and then they can hit you and fall over.
And then you sue them.
Or yes, you could. It's fun. Like there's a good progression system in it now, where if you're playing the multiplayer, like you're earning experience to unlock new skis. That was something I ran into a wall with the bike game, is without having a multiplayer to consistently earn more experience. I couldn't unlock like the final bike in that game because I just wasn't good enough at the other trails. It's neat though. There's what they call Blue Diamond, which is the easy mode, which isn't necessarily easy. And then there's Black Diamond courses, which are the hard courses. It's cool. I think it's a fun little game. It's on Game Pass. Very chill. It's not gonna like knock your socks off, but it's a fun little racing game that I've been putting some time into. I think I've like 3 or 4 hours into it since it came out. So, final thing, I watched the first few episodes of Castlevania Nocturne. The first season 2 just came out. That's good. Richter Belmont and Maria, who, if you've played Symphony of the Night, Maria is the girl that shows up in that, and Richter is the one from Rondo of Blood. I believe he's also shows up at some point in Symphony of the Night. I don't know what they're adapting here though. The original Castlevania series was like adapting Castlevania 3. I'm not sure what Nocturne is doing. It's in France during the Revolution, but it's still a very good like vampire animation thing based on Castlevania. All right, Earl. Why are we talking about Super Mario Brothers?
Why are we talking about Super Mario Brothers? So
What is Super Mario Brothers?
What is Super Mario Brothers? What indeed? So we had this idea. Well, I had this idea last year that it would be great if we did like an episode dedicated to all the video game movies and like ranking them by putting them in tiers. But this was I think more than half a year ago, and video games are booming right now to a degree. We had a ton of great games come out. There's a ton of news, good and bad. That's always breaking. This year's only going to get worse. We have a brand new console launching. We have a crap ton of games coming out. A lot of shows and movies. I don't know if we have any movies this year actually to partake in, but I still like the idea. So I figured we would do something slightly different. Well, the same thing, just spread out a bit more. So instead of taking an episode to talk about some 60 some odd video game movies, we would, take, a couple of minutes at the end of a podcast, maybe once a month or so. And, we could do more than one. Like, we could probably chunk in a bunch of the Resident Evil movies at once. And just kind of, talk through it real quick and see where we would rank them. And then, hopefully, fingers crossed, when this is over, we'd actually have a proper tier list, I guess, of these video game movies that we can put out and, add to as they come out. So we're talking about Super Mario Brothers because it is historically noted as the first video game movie. I think there are a few, I forget what OVA stand for, but there's a few like Japanese ones. I think like there's a Mario one from the 80s as well, but we won't count that. One, it's not super accessible. Two, I think a lot of people tend to count Hollywood blockbuster movies as the genre.
Mhm.
And again, this is something I just thought of today, so we will work the kinks out because there are a few that, like I say, that don't fall into this realm because they might be DTV or they might be made for streaming, which I guess is still counts, but there are some that are there that are confusing. Like I said, I won't go through this today, Ruffy. I'll maybe, I mean, if you follow me on Blue Sky, I posted my rankings, my tier list, and that has listed them up until right before Sonic 3. Sonic 3 is the only one I need to add to this. But I would also just be using the Wikipedia article. So we're just gonna go through. We're gonna use the video game grading scale for this. So if you're grading video games, the highest tier is always S plus. Don't know why. A, B, C, no, A, B, D, and F. So again, Super Mario Brothers from 1993, starring Dennis Hopper, Bob Hoskins is the first one. Have you gentlemen seen the Mario Brothers?
Yeah,
It's been a long time.
Yep.
I saw it recently.
Oh, okay. So wait, hold on. I have to ask, Jeff, do you own it?
I bought it on DVD. Yeah.
Okay, because we had because I was like, before we saw the show, they were like, "Do you own it?" I'm like, "No." Chris is like, "I bet Jeff does."
It was the only it was the only place you could watch it was buying it on DVD. There was no way to watch it, and yeah, I take that as a challenge.
There is, I don't know if it still is. It used to
Yeah, it
be.
might be out there now.
It used to be on the Internet
Got to
Archive
be out there somewhere.
because there is a dedicated fan base to this movie. I don't know if it still exists, but there's like a Super Mario Brothers archive or Super Mario Brothers database website. Whenever I post about this on Twitter, they would always kind of remark. And so one of their big projects was they gathered all of like the work print footage and like scripts and they recut the movie into something else. And I did watch that version of it many, not many moons ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, probably during the pandemic. It's an interesting watch, but it's one of those things where I'm always hard pressed to recommend because clearly the footage was not meant to come out extremely grainy, low RDO, sometimes missing effects and stuff like that. But it's an interesting experiment and it's out there. Um, so yes, Jeff, what do you think? Or yes, what do you think of this movie?
Of the original Mario Brothers movie,
Yes, we know your thoughts on the new one
I think it basically sucks, but it's like interesting, which like I can't say about the new one. So
because the new one's great.
yeah, sure, yeah.
But not interesting. Like it's kind of
It's
I mean,
both bad
that
and not interesting.
but we'll get there in
Yes.
many moons between them. Because there's 30 years between the two of them, I believe. Because I think Mario was in 2023, and this is in 93.
Yes.
There's a full market that emerges in between these two.
Yeah, the Wikipedia article I'm looking at says after Super Mario Brothers, Nintendo would not license another film based on Mario games until the Super Mario Brothers movie in 2023.
Not
Yep.
shocking.
No.
It's not just the it's not just the movies. They stopped doing anything because that was the end of animated series for Mario. That was the end of like any real tie-ins for the longest time. I think only until the 2010s they started like even doing official Halloween costumes. Because a lot of the ones you would go to stores, they would always be like green plumber.
Plumber, yeah.
Yeah, it was never Mario until recently. It really soured them on a lot of stuff.
Was everybody high when they made this movie? Like
Drunk.
I think it was.
Drunk. I think
I
Kids famously were very, very drunk.
okay.
really, I just kind of feel like at the time, like people did not understand video games for
No,
one.
I don't think they understood it, but like if you ever watch any, and I've seen way too, like they will usually talk about like they would that because I don't think the director has final cut I think the director, him and Bob Hoskins got into it.
And this is probably just a gig for a lot of people. It's like, whatever. I mean, this will make a ton of money, but who gives a fuck?
It's one of those weird things to think about because both at the time Mario was king of the world, but also to your point, like video games was so new. Like this is like I mean to put it into context, at this point we had gotten already to Mario Brothers 1, 2, and 3, and Super Mario World. So like it's a well developed universe. Like the characters, the plot,
It
and
still was not like I mean, it was mainstream, I guess, but like video games were looked at differently up
no,
until like probably this century. You know what I mean? Like,
I wouldn't even say this century. I'd say this decade.
yeah. It's like now it's just like everyone plays video games. So they're understood in a way that like it was seen as like this dork geek thing back then, or like, oh, it was a kid thing or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's very.
But also, I would also say, and this is what you'll get into when we talk about some of the other ones that come out right after Mario, is like these were also not very heavy on story. So you had to sometimes kind of wholesale.
Yeah, you're
stuff.
adapting like something that's like beep boop beep boop. Like, all right, we're making a fucking movie out of this.
Like the outside of Super Mario Brothers 2, like the story for the Mario games is like got to rescue the princess from the evil giant turtle dude.
Yeah,
and they were like, well, how do we make this like more like a movie? And so they added all this crazy elements, which I think it like that makes it interesting. To me, it's like it's strangely way less lazy than the new movie, but.
yes, and I guess I will. When I first saw this movie, I hated it because it's nothing like Mario. You don't. It's not. It's nowhere near Mario.
It's
But
weird.
as I've grown and I've watched it more, I've seen it way too many times. Like I said, I've seen a fan cut version of this movie. Is I grew to appreciate it. This is what I tend to use as an example of a terrible adaptation, but a really interesting movie. Because as a movie, I think it works. It is a really fun,
I don't
funky,
know.
dystopian sci-fi film.
Well, there is like that's what's wild about it is like they go into the Mushroom Kingdom and it's like this dystopian sci-fi thing, and like then they get like fucking special powered boots and shit. You're just like, what the fuck is this, dude? Like, but
this was very much in the vein of there was what was that Sylvester Stallone movie that
like Demolition Man or something.
Demolition Man, and then like that type of weird sci-fi, like
but like a good movie. I think if you like showed this to an adult at that time that knew nothing about Mario, they'd be like, what the fuck is this? Like,
But
I don't know.
Even if they knew about Mario, they'd probably say, "What the fuck is?"
Yeah, it's like this is going too far.
I think you say that more if you knew about Mario. But this to me, it's not out the realm of a Demolition Man or a what is the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie with Mars and
Recall?
Total Recall, yeah.
Like it's to me, a lot of this is not. I mean, and very much it feels like it was like somebody saw Total Recall. Not like the whole, but like the whole like desert planet and like these funky things and it's not out of that realm of like the late '80s, early '90s sci-fi where
like for kids and also like who would ever make up this story? Like you know what I mean? It's like it doesn't. I don't know.
Well, to be fair, I mean it's not even the story of the game because it's like because one, it's not even Princess Peach, it's Daisy.
Daisy, yeah.
And it's not the Mushroom Kingdom. It's dinosaur.
They show is it Yoshi in it? And he's like this scary looking, like the fucking
dinosaur
baby.
And then Toad is like a musician. The Goombas are like the things
insane looking.
That you get.
It says semi-humanoid dinosaur.
Yeah,
and then you have Dennis Hopper as I think it was King Koopa, wasn't he? Like not.
Yes, he was King Koopa.
When did King Koopa become Bowser?
I think Super Mario World is when they started to use the Bowser.
He's called Bowser, but he was called King Koopa through the first, like the NES games.
Well, I mean, his name is King Bowser Cooper.
Are you serious? His name is Bowser Koopa.
But I mean, it's Koopa Kids. I mean,
Fucking.
I mean, I don't know if that's his full name, but I mean, he is King Koopa. But his first name is clearly Bowser. It's the same way that it's the same way that Princess Peach Toadstool.
So, yeah, the Wikipedia here. One, I guess in Japan he is known as like he's not Bowser, he's Koopa in Japan.
Still, like to this day.
And he's known as either King Bowser or King Koopa.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And he is.
I want to say in the movie though they called him Koopa, didn't they? Like it wasn't really referred to as Bowser.
He's Koopa. Yeah, he's not
President Koopa.
President Koopa.
Yes, I don't think even though World uses it, I don't think I think it's kind of like the Eggman Robotnik thing where I think
it's like we're just changing the name halfway through. But,
think,
don't worry, it's all consistent. We thought this through.
Yeah, because it's very weird to go back and like all the animated cartoons at the time, he's King Koopa. In the first games, he's King Koopa. And then he's Bowser, and I mean, to be fair, they stuck with that for 30 years, but it's very weird because like the OG is very much King Koopa. The intro of Super Mario Brothers 3, the animated series, is like then King Koopa attacked. It's like
where it's like if you said it to a kid now, they'd be like, "Who the fuck is King Koopa?" Like,
yeah. Again, same thing with Princess. I don't know the last time they referred to as Princess Toadstool. But that's also her name.
Weird.
But yes, I mean, like it's one of those things that would make more sense because again, his kids are called the Koopalings, the Koopa kids.
So I thought they retconned that they're not his kids.
They're not his kids. Oh, Bowser Jr. is his kid,
right?
Which I also
you guys know the lore way.
The only reason I know, I mean, I know that, but the reason that came up today is I always forget that Bowser Jr. and Baby Bowser, and there's a third one that all look the same, are 3 different characters.
Wow.
I only know about the Koopa kids not being Bowser's kids because there was some interview they did with Miyamoto. I think it was before Odyssey. And he clarified that they are not Bowser's kids. Only Bowser Jr.
Okay.
Yes, and this has nothing to do with. I'm always just so flabbergasted because that's established in Sunshine, and part of the plot of Sunshine is Bowser Jr. thinks Peach is his mom, and Peach is.
Oh yeah, that's a big thing in that, yeah.
And then I think at the end he asks, he's like, "No, of course not." But we had to get this. I'm like, okay, this is what we're going with. Somehow, this is what Peach would spit out if she had sex with Bowser.
So I don't I remember like what Jeff said about like, you know, when they go into the pipes and it's like the dystopian futuristic world with all the weirdos and shit. I don't remember anything about this fucking movie though, other than like the weird performances from Mario, and evidently he's called Mario, and
yes,
and John Leguizamo's Luigi Mario.
Yeah, and this is a Nintendo canon that because technically speaking, they are the Super Mario Brothers.
It's
so
true.
It makes sense that their last names would be Mario.
Oh wow,
it is very dumb, but it is.
It is worth watching if it's somewhere like you can watch it. Like
it's so weird, yeah.
Yeah, it is like a time capsule for sure, and just an oddity. Like we just like it was like watching. You know, you're like watching Hollywood try to figure out what to do with these things, and I kind of like here that early on they were like, well, we gotta figure out how to make them a movie, and like here it was just like, well, we're just gonna like do like a sci-fi movie and figure out a way to make this work, you know, and like how can we come up with a story out of you need to save the princess, you know what I mean, like. And it's bad. I think it's bad. Girls saying it's good, but it's like way more interesting than the new one.
I think it's interesting, and again, if you divorce it from as a Mario,
if you divorce it from
it's a terrible Mario movie. But I think the movie itself is interesting. And again, it's not high stakes sci-fi or anything like that, but it's a very interesting dystopian sci-fi. Because again, the world of the movie is well defined within the movie, and
Yeah, it's so
it's just so foreign for what you would think of for the source material.
well. Not just no. It's just like if you had. I will stick by this. Like if you had never heard of the Mario Brothers, never heard of the video game, whatever, and you watch this movie, you'd be like, this was made by like an insane person, right? Like this is like Charles Manson made this, right? Like, because who would come up with this? There's plumbers. They get sucked into another world to save a princess. Like none
I
of
mean,
it
again,
fucking makes sense. Like
Princess.
when you say that, that is the plot of the Mario games too.
I
They
know, but
often,
that's what I'm saying. If you had never heard of the like again, if you're sitting someone down who had never heard of Mario Brothers and they're watching this movie, like, what the fuck?
again, I think it's well expanded in the movie because it's like she has that special necklace that connects the two worlds.
But like, why would anyone make this movie? Like, again, it's just the
Why,
only
why
reason
the-
this movie would ever exist is because it was trying to make sense. Like, how do we turn this NES game into a
Oh yeah,
movie?
and yes,
Other
that
than
is
that,
true.
no
But
one
okay,
would write this story. Nobody would write
I
this
don't
story.
know. The '80s was full of out of coke. There's a lot of strange movies in the '80s. There's what? Not Buck Rogers. Is it Buck Rogers?
Buck
The one
Rogers
with,
is a TV show.
what is the one with Wow, why can't I think of the guy from Jurassic Park?
Sam Neill,
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff
He,
Goldblum. What was he in a?
The
he's in
Fly,
a very funky '80s sci-fi movie.
The Fly.
I
No,
mean,
like
the Fly
that's
was an '80s sci-fi movie.
The Adventures
uh,
of Buckeye Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension.
Okay.
wow. Yes, I see that. I'm looking at his filmography, but that's a name.
Yes, and that is also as somebody who indulges in questionable movies from time to time. Like there are some
all the
really
time.
out there concepts for movies. So I don't think this is like to me this is a very simple sci-fi movie. I mean, there's really a movie I've watched because my friend hates me about a woman who falls in love with a man who turns into a dog, and that I'm like, yeah, okay, that does not make any sense, but sure, we're going with it. And she also loves green for some reason, and I don't think it's ever expanded in the movie. And if you want to see this movie, it's called Love on a Leash. You can usually find it on um some
What
you
are
can find
we?
it on
Um. Yeah, Earl. I agree. Somebody would write this story. I don't know if it's not named Super Mario Brothers though. If like maybe it does. I don't know. Like funding
no,
was weird back then.
I don't think it gets made in the same way, and I think this is one of those movies you'd find at Blockbusters on a Friday night and like, oh, that is interesting, and watch it and forget about it. If it did not have a Mario Brennan, we would not be talking about this movie 30 some odd years later. That much I can that much I will say.
Well, and
So
you're probably also not getting Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo, Dennis Hopper, like
Is
Alan
this
Silvestri did the music. Like I don't. We're probably not getting all that if it's not propped up by Nintendo.
streaming anything now? I'm just
No.
it
curious.
is not on anything. Again, I think
They
part
did
of
do a
this has
4K though.
oh yeah in Europe.
Oh, well, 4K is region free, so you could buy it if you want.
But the pay is it's I will look into it. I do want. It's also technically, I guess, it was distributed by Disney because Benno Vista Pictures was them back in
Yeah,
the day.
Buena Vista was Disney.
You
Yeah,
can get the DVD. Like I bought the DVD off of Amazon for $5, so that's
yeah.
probably the
I'm
proper way to
almost
see it.
certain. I'm almost certain. Again, this is made Nintendo. Like you burn every copy and you never let me see this again. Because like yeah, it's weird. Like you would think somebody would license it, like even if anything else, like one of the free streaming services, like throw it up on Tubi. Um,
It's
or
definitely a to be candidate.
Buy
Put
a
it on.
DVD of it for $10.88 from
There you
Target.
go. There you go.
I do own it on DVD. Wait, let me see. Because this will come up over the course of this serious. I do own several video game movies on physical media. I think I own this on DVD, but I don't own. Hold on, let me double check. 'Cause I have a little video game wall. It's a very small collection. It's only like the Resident Evil movies, Prince of Persia, Double Dragon, The Wizard. Okay, it's more than what I own. Where are you? Double
Are
Dragon.
Blu-rays are they region free?
No, I don't think so.
Mm.
Like 4Ks are so like if you got how you like to do those combo packs where it's like you get the 4K and the Blu-ray of a movie.
Right.
If you bought one from the UK, the 4K should play on your player, but the Blu-ray will not, and which is a shame. So like I've avoided buying like it follows got a 4K release in the UK. But like the secondary disc, the Blu-ray where they put all the extras on, you would not be able to watch. So like I just avoid buying those.
Yeah, so Amazon has a Blu-ray up, but there actually is a flag at the bottom saying that it's a region B2. It won't play in North America.
Yeah, but yeah, 4K. Like again, it's weird. So like, here's another good example. I've really wanted Dawn of the Dead in 4K, and you could get from UK, but all the extras and all the alternate versions of the film and etc. are on the Blu-ray, which will not play. So like, I don't know if I'm gonna pay like it's not cheap. It's probably like $50 at least for that, right? I'm not gonna pay that much and not be able to like watch half the shit on it. Like, yeah, it would be really great to have that movie in 4K, but I'll just wait for it to hopefully, one day before I die, it'll pop up in the U.S. Good old Trump will fix this shit.
With that tariff pricing?
Yeah, great. Earl, how are we ranking? You said S plus was top, but are we doing like A plus, B plus?
No, it's just straight up. It's S plus, A, B, D, and F. So
I saw your S plus. If that's the cream of the crop, shit.
Again, you'll find that there's not what I would consider many great ones. My criteria tends to be they're very entertaining movies. Because I mean, even the Sonic movies that people are fans of, I think are decent kids movies, but they're not like great movies to me.
Yeah, I hear where you're coming from with this.
They're all 3 out of 5s.
Yeah, but I mean, it kind of is. I mean, to your point, we're not doing plus or minuses, but almost the entire thing would make a B minus across a B or B minus for them. They're fun, they're good for what they are, but
I'm just looking at your thing and I'm like, so I guess The Last of Us was the one good thing that was ever made. Cause
and that's a TV show.
I know, but it's better than all these.
Did you not egg Fallout?
I like Fallout.
And I think video game cartoon or video game TV shows are a bit better because I think Pokemon's longevity's there. Digimon was interesting. The Last of Us, Fallout, the Castlevania stuff is good.
Have more time to
tell
flesh the story out. Yeah.
I almost feel like The Last of Us doesn't count because that kind of was a TV show. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
the way
I hate to give it that one. Yeah, like it's much more interesting to me that like something like Castlevania is good. Like, oh, that's cool. Like,
I'm almost curious to see what happens to The Last of Us because I mean there's only 2 games, and some DLC, but they covered most of the DLC for the first one.
Yeah, they did.
What if they? I understand. I hear like the second game might be split into 2 seasons.
Yeah, it is.
Because I mean it's a hit show. You don't want it to run for 2 seasons and make it's done, or because you can't really wait for the next game because it stars a young. She's not a child, but she's not like she's a teenager, and she will age.
I mean, we don't know what they're going to do for the third one, so
that's true. But I just like she'll age. But
yes,
I think the show is pretty much planned to cover the first 2 games, and it'll be 3 seasons. I mean, would they decide to go beyond that if there's another game or something? I don't know. Are they making Last of Us 3?
They likely will. Not
actually
yet.
will, but the next game is Intergalactic.
Yes.
And
Is what?
Intergalactic, the one they announced at the Game Awards.
Okay.
The space game.
Yeah. I just see them wanting to try new things. They seem like the studio doesn't want to keep revisiting the same thing over and over, but who knows?
Well, I mean, they were also doing the I don't even know if it's still around. They were doing the multiplayer version of it.
No,
right?
that got killed, I think.
That got killed, but they were like, I think like it's weird. I thought they would have. I mean, again, I thought they would have wrapped it up with 3 just because Uncharted. Well, Uncharted did 5 games technically speaking. But yeah, it seems like they were just kind of good with the 2 for now. Maybe they're waiting till they get an idea. But I assume
Well,
it's
is Neil Druckmann,
yeah, and he's working on
Yeah.
Intergalactic.
because he indicated
TV
recently,
show.
like that he kind of indicated that he thinks that type of game. Right. So if he thinks that, I'm like, I don't know, are they going to keep doing those types of games? I don't feel like they might branch out.
Oh well, Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet looks very much
another one of those games. Yeah.
like. I mean, we didn't get a lot. It's only like a minute and a half trailer, but it looks like another cinematic
So he's
kind of
full
action
shit.
shooter. So
I mean, just because he thinks they're still doesn't mean he can make something else.
right. Or that Sony would let him make something else, right?
Right.
All right, Earl. Let's rank Super Mario Brothers.
Yes. Okay, so I'm in the minority. I mean, again, my list is out there in the public. I'm an A for this. Again, less so as an adaptation of Mario, more so that I do find it an interesting sci-fi movie.
Okay. I gotta go see. As I said, I don't remember it all that well. What I do remember is the insanity of like the dystopian. What was it called? Dino Hatton.
Yes,
When they
okay.
go
I
through
knew it was in the Mushroom Kingdom. I knew it had something. Yes,
Dino Hatton. That's a great name though. It's very weird.
I think I have to agree with Chris too. I'm going to reject Earl's interpretation because as soon as you take the Mario name and you slap it on there, like you've said, this isn't a new dystopian whatever. It's a Mario movie, and you've made a really bad one.
Jeff.
The original Mario Brothers movie.
Yep.
It's not good, but like it's pretty interesting, and it's worth checking out if you like oddities or if you are just someone who likes video games. It's like a C.
Okay.
So I think we'll end up. I mean, everybody give it a C, which is one thing we don't have. I think.
I saw that like on your thing. I'm like, why does it go B to D when you just had nothing?
Because
Okay,
Earl
ranking-
doesn't hate things. Earl's a nice
That's
person.
not. That's mid.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, there's a ton of D's and F's here, so that's not true. There are some that we'll get to that are not like. It's not the first. Well, actually, no. Wait, what? No, Double Dragon I do enjoy as well. So yes, I'm just gonna. I'll pass it down and say a D. Yay, nay, or should we add a C?
Sure.
We could start. We could.
Why is there not a C? What the fuck are you talking about, bro? You inventing shit?
There should be no E. We shouldn't have an E.
It's not an E.
No. There should be S, A, B, C, D, F, right?
Yes.
And S plus. Do you have S plus? I thought I heard you mention S plus.
There are no S pluses. Doesn't exist.
I did S plus because that's what video game ratings.
Yeah.
I get it.
Like that's
fine, but why would you not have
C there, Jeff? But
yeah, that was just oversight. I think that was the tier of this I was using at the time didn't have C. I just like why does it have a C?
Okay. Well, I have on our spreadsheet. I've put our rankings in here. I don't have a joint ranking. So are we agreeing for all of us that it's a C?
I think so. I think it's good to have like one giant is. Well, one like this that we can all agree on. So I think a C is fair.
Okay. All right. What is our next movie, Earl,
You
that
both
we're going
can
to
actually.
discuss? Yeah. So we can prep for
Actually,
this
it's
in a
going to
month.
be Double Dragon.
Okay.
Came out in 1994 and features. No, wait, who is it? Is it Christine? Which one is it?
Dying Man. Dying Man is in that movie.
Dying Man.
Yep.
Oh, Alyssa Milano. There we go. I knew it was one of the late 80s heartthrobs.
So is this Mark DeCasco and Scott Wolf
Yes. And it
and
is.
Alyssa Milano?
Looks like it's
Scott
currently
Wolf.
available on Amazon Prime Video. And
Yep,
if
it's
Oh
you,
God!
on.
So I can actually watch it.
Yep, you can watch it. It's also on Roku or Peacock or Fubo. I don't know. It's on
I was
Tubi as
gonna,
well.
oh, it's on everything apparently. I
Yes,
was gonna
it's
say,
everywhere.
I was gonna say, if you have an Ivory card, it's also on Hoopla. So, I mean, at least it's an easy movie to watch. So people are not ashamed of this. I am slightly ashamed of it. I think I own this on, I don't know if it's 4K or Blu-ray, but I think it's a steelbook of it. That I bought. Uh, yeah, maybe it's the 4K because this does not match what I have. Again, I can just look over there, but yes, it's the 4K from MVD.
All right, so we'll all watch Double Dragon over, and sometime in February we will rank Double Dragon from 1993, 1994.
94. I
Okay.
think 94 is this in Street Fighter.
And to lay out from the beginning, Earl wasn't sure if we were getting any video game movies this year. We are getting at least 5.
What?
Five Nights at Freddy's 2,
Oh,
Mortal Kombat 2,
forgot about that.
the Minecraft movie, which I completely blanked on. That was a trailer for that shit.
I mean,
That's out in
you should
April.
blank
Yeah,
that out of your memory.
absolutely. Until Dawn.
Oh, that what
Um,
I do as well. That's also out in
Yep.
what, March, April, and we just had a
Very
trailer.
soon. Yep.
We did not talk about that. That had a trailer last week.
Which I still haven't seen.
I still haven't seen it either.
And then Return to Silent Hill. So those
Okay.
are at very least those 5 are coming this year.
Is
the third
anyone
time-
interested in doing the Silent Hill one? Is it like is this
I
gonna be a
am.
real movie?
I mean, I've watched the other 2 Silent Hill movies. They're
I think
fine.
The first one,
Yeah.
it was decent and done by like Christopher Gans.
Yep, he's come back for this one.
Oh, he's the guy.
Yep.
Wait. Okay, he did the first one, and no, that's it. Okay.
He's directing the new one.
Okay.
So
That's a very weird career. Just do a
Yes.
movie every 20 years.
about that, right? Like,
Wait, did he do nothing in between them?
He literally
did a movie
did
called
like
Beauty
the
and
is
Beast.
the what? Which one?
He did Beauty and the Beast in 2014. Not a Beauty and the Beast that any of us have ever seen. But
This that.
The one that I've heard of is Brother of the Wolf, which I've heard
Brother
of,
of the Wolf,
but
yeah.
I have not seen.
Wow,
That's
okay.
crazy, dude. Like, imagine that's your. What'd you do? Silent Hill movies. Like, but like,
Yes.
isn't there
apparently
only
he
like 2 of those?
takes
Yep.
his time. This is only going to be his 5th movie in 30 years.
I mean,
he's
true artist.
super prolific. he picks his projects. All right. Well, Double Dragon in a month. We'll be back next week with some more video games. It is almost time for the deluge to hit us, but I think we still have a little bit of time. So next week, let's do some predictions next week. What do you guys think up 3 games that you think would be that from what we know so far on the schedule that are you would pick for game of the year without having played them?
Okay.
Oh,
and then we'll just
All right.
write those down, and we can revisit them at the end of the year.
All right.
All right. So we'll be back next week. Jeff, sing a night.
Good night.